IP6 bitches, my name is Sterling and welcome to the channel. This is where we like to read some of the best and most upvoted stories on Reddit. And today's stories come from one of the best places, that sweet brown star in the sky. Am I the asshole? And some of the stories, there are definitely some major assholeians in this. Like this one right here where it's like, you didn't want to come out to party with me, wife? Oh, I'm just gonna set your alarm clock for by an hour so you wake up late so you can't go to your exam at university that you have to fucking get, which is your final year, and they may not even let you take it again because go fuck yourself. But why would you do that? Why? Doesn't matter. We're gonna get into these stories. Our first story comes from Dad of 3. Am I the asshole for storming out of my sister's wedding after she dead-named my son? I don't even have a clue what dead naming is, but I have a feeling that we're going to find out. I'm a 45-year-old single father of 3. Their mom died 10 years ago. I have 3 sons, 17-year-old Andrew, 15-year-old Connor, and 14-year-old Max. Connor was born female. He is trans. He came out as trans 5 years ago and has now socially transitioned, not yet physically. Okay, so socially transitioned would be like just They've I guess chosen their pronouns, dress as they are, but have not started medicating on hormones. I'm overthinking this. Let's just continue. My sister, 38 female, just got married. Me and my sons were also invited. My family has known that Connor is trans for 2 years now. Some have adjusted well, some not so much. My sister is pretty indifferent about it. Her wedding was really super well organized to the last detail. She wanted all the men to wear shirt and tie and then the women sundresses. I texted her a picture of our outfits the day before the wedding and she said, "Where's Nina's dress?" I was a bit surprised and told her not to dead name my son and that he'll be wearing a shirt and tie like the rest of the men or we weren't coming. She said fine, and that was it. At the reception, my sister was mad Connor was wearing a tie, but didn't say much after that. When we sat down at our table, the card Nia, that's actually a kind of cool name. It's rather pretty. I went to my sister and said she used their real name. I told me and the boys are leaving, and she told me, "Don't you dare cause a scene at my wedding. Nia can be a guy any other day." I called her a bigot, and we left. My family says I ruined her wedding. I think it takes a lot, like big things to ruin a wedding. Like my wedding's a story. It's a story that all sorts of shit happened. Fucking crazy. This is nothing. Nothing. And you know what? If you didn't actually want a scene, you wouldn't have made a fucking deal of it yourself. You fucking ruined your own wedding. All right, our second story comes from in-law issues. Am I the asshole for throwing them out of the house that we own? Son and future in-laws decided to exclude his family from the wedding. They thought son owned the house, not us. My wife and I bought a 4-bedroom house in Pennsylvania that my son lives in. Our son went to college in Pennsylvania and wanted to stay in the area, so we bought this house as a second home. That's incredible. You just like, and a 4-bedroom? That's just like, why? Why such a big house just for your son to live in? Okay. We live in New Jersey and commute to Manhattan for work. That's probably it. I mean, Manhattan's a bougie place. I can only imagine that the types of jobs there pay very well. I'm sure these people can wholeheartedly afford that second 4-bedroom home. We figured that we could have a place to live in and could just visit every so often and spend some quality time together. We pay the taxes and the services, maintenance on the house, our son pays for his groceries and the house utilities. All was going well for years. Our son met this girl and they decided to get serious. We met her and she seems nice enough. They announced their engagement and she moves into the house with our son. We hold a little get-to-know-you barbecue at the Pennsylvania house. My son and daughter are there as our son's fiance and her parents and sisters. We all seem to be getting along well. My wife, daughter, and fiance go into the house along with the mother and sisters and my son. A few minutes later, my wife and daughter come out and are really upset. They come over and tell me that we're leaving, driving back to New Jersey. I tried to find out what happened. Once we get back to New Jersey and they calm down, they tell me that our son and his fiancée, along with their family, didn't want us at the wedding. According to what I was told, We're not their kind of people. I was livid. I called my son and asked him what the hell this was about. He tells me that their family feel that we're not good enough and will embarrass them at the family wedding, and that we're all uninvited from the wedding. I let a week go by and calm myself down and drive back to the Pennsylvania house. The new future in-laws are in the house along with the fiancé. It appears as though they all moved into the house. They ask me why I'm there. I tell them that since we aren't invited to the wedding, I was coming over to talk to my son. They tell me to leave their house. I lost it and told them they had 30 days to get out. Tell my son I'm selling the house and he can find somewhere else to live with all of you. I go to a retailer in town and list the house for sale. They call my son at work and tell him what I said. Apparently, they thought that he owned the house. He calls me and asks me why I'm selling the house. I tell him I paid for it along with the taxes on it and it's mine. He was living there rent-free, but since he doesn't want us in his new family's life, he has to get out. I tell him the same as I told his future in-laws. They have 30 days to get out, and then I'll get a lawyer and have them evicted. Am I the asshole for taking a hard stance on this? He is my son, but then the in-laws seem to take over and we no longer count. Maybe a single finger in your anus? Possibly? It really sounds like the in-laws were just going to be totally moving in, and it's really fucked up that at all they didn't want you there, especially since they're going to be taking such advantage of the entire situation of having a free fucking place to rent. Although at some point that I don't even have the house, bomb would have dropped. And then what? What if the girlfriend would have been like, okay, well, you're no longer as sexy and I need to distance myself because you're not as rich as I thought. So I wonder if they actually got married. I want to know if they actually got married. But no, that is extreme bullshit on their part. So each one of them are going to get a 3-finger shove. You, just a tickle. Just a tickle. Just a tickle of you're the a-hole. But it's your shit, right? Like, not really. That's why I'm like, just a tickle. Our third story is from not a gold digger. Am I the asshole for telling my boyfriend's friends I make twice what he does? When they called me a gold digger and he didn't defend me. I'm in a relationship with a guy who also works in tech. He makes $68K and I make $130K. I'm a mechanical engineer at a robotics startup. He works at a more stable job doing programming at a large company. He brought me to meet his friends at a party and they asked me about myself. His friends mostly work in tech too and talked about themselves in terms of their jobs. I told them I'm a hiker, I do archery, I love road trips and camping and riding dirt bikes, etc. Basically talking about my hobbies because work is just a way to get paid to do the shit that you love. Not the greatest attitude to have, but as long as you also enjoy your work, but I much prefer my hobbies and work intersect, but you know what, you do you, girl. It's not how I define myself, and it doesn't come to mind when someone wants me to tell them about myself. One of his friends asked about work, and I said, oh gosh, I don't want to talk about work at a party. Spent a whole day sweating my ass off, 95 degrees heat, trying to replace a busted ass motor just to find the replacement part was also fucked. That really sucks. I've been there with some stuff. You're like, I fixed it! Damn it! It took me so long to do and I gotta do it again! I wasn't lying or trying to downplay that I have a good job. That really is how I spent my day, and I wasn't in the mood to talk shop at a party. Some other conversations came up casually that probably also made me seem poorer, like me saying that car dealership repairs were a ripoff. Yes, they are. They are an absolute fucking ripoff. There's no denying that. I'm sorry. And telling my boyfriend that my childhood neighbor's trailer caught on fire and I was gonna go visit and help her out. That really fucking sucks. And really, that just sounds like you're a good person. I wasn't doing it on purpose. I was literally just talking about my life, but I guess I gave the impression I was poorer. It got later in the night. Everyone was getting drunker, and some of his friends, not close ones though, were making jokes about me growing up in a trailer and being a gold digger. and being ready to jump to a richer guy. Really misogynistic shit, honestly. Since they didn't even know me and seem to just assume all girls are gold diggers. There are girls that truly make careers out of it. There's some TikTokers that I'm like, why is that allowed on the platform? You're teaching manipulation. Like, you're teaching how a girl can use basically her sexuality to drain a man's wallet. How is that right? That is so messed up. And then not even have any remorse about him falling in love or providing that. Like, maybe it's discussed transaction beforehand, that's whatever, but like, that's really messed up. He later said it was because he smoked weed and gets quiet and has trouble carrying a quick conversation when he's high. But regardless, I felt hurt he didn't say anything. I got irritated with his friends and asked, now why the hell would you say that when I make twice what he does? His friends went quiet for a second and I continued saying, there ain't no gold here, not with him or with anyone at this party. So do y'all think I'm cheap or do y'all think I'm stupid? That is... She just burned everyone in that room. And you know what? She makes $130,000 a year and her boyfriend makes $68,000. I'm assuming that most of the people in that room make probably around $70,000 a year and she's just eclipsing them at $130,000. Oh yeah, and she could actually really say that to all of them, just like, nah, ain't no gold to dig here, y'all fucking poorer than me. My boyfriend wanted to leave the party shortly after, and he was pretty upset with me for telling everyone I make twice of what he does. I said I would have held my tongue if he checked his friends himself, but he didn't say anything, so I wasn't about to let them talk to me like that. But his issue is actually not like she just slammed everyone or just him, but like that he makes less. It's the fact that he makes, if my next life partner makes more than me, I am so proud of her. I'm amazed with her. And if it's like a ton more, and she wants to go take a family trip and she wants to pay for it, I'm like, oh my God, you're amazing, babe, because that is an experience I've never had. He said it was humiliating and now everyone thinks I'm a bitch. And I flippantly said, at least they know I'm a rich bitch. Rick James, I'm rich, bitch. He was angry I embarrassed him when I spoke up. I was angry I had to say anything at all because his friends were talking shit. So it should have been on him to check them. Stuff is still tense. Am I the asshole for explaining why I'm not a gold digger? No, madam. You have no a-holes going towards you. No fingers coming your way at all. Your boyfriend, though. You know what? Hey, let's just start with the people at the party. They are gonna get a two-finger prod in the A. Because that is just bullshit just to assume and then especially make fun of and then like get to know a person properly. Like, I want to know, like, why the fuck were you in 98? What were you doing with an emoter? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Anyway, that is way more interesting to me. But then the boyfriend is going to get a three-finger stretch because... Oh, three fingers. There we go. Three-finger stretch because you need to, like, actually defend that person, because if you don't, you're not worth it. And, like, girly, I hope he learned a lesson and he apologized and he understood, because, like, that is such a red flag that you probably want to just distance yourself from that sort of shit. Like, no, don't need that in your life, queen. Our final story is from Charlie Outlaw 23. Am I the asshole for blowing up at my husband for messing with my alarm and causing me to miss my exam? Full fucking wholeheartedly no. Your husband needs a fucking punch to the face and at least a three-finger stretch. I, 23 female, have been married to my husband, 26 male, for a year. I'm in my last year of university and have been so busy for the last 2 weeks with many of my projects and finals looming. My husband complains from seeing me studying and not doing activities together and hanging out with friends anymore. I've told him it's not going to last forever and that I need to focus on this because it's my last year and it's been the hardest. The day before the exam, he wanted me to go to his friend's birthday party. I refused because I was busy preparing for my exam. He pleaded with me, saying it's just 1 hour, and talked about how his friends will be upset if I'm not there. That's a really weird freaking thing. Why would his friends be that caring that you're not there? I mean, sure, you're a cool chick, but like... And absolutely, why are they not respecting finals and what someone needs to actually do to get through university? Like, go eat a dick. I said no and shut down any further discussions. He got upset and called me selfish and inconsiderate, but then dropped it. Before I went to bed, I set my alarm clock like I always do, since I'm a heavy sleeper. Plus, I stay up late studying. The next morning, I wake up at 9 a.m. I literally freak out and check my alarm and found that it was set to go off at 9:30 a.m. I had no idea this happened till my husband told me he did this to repay me for refusing to take 1 hour to attend the party, so he took this hour from my time. I couldn't believe it. I absolutely blew up at him and was just yelling and screaming at him left and right. He just stood there in shock from the reaction and my rage. I got dressed quickly and rushed to the university. Why would you ever fuck with oh, wow. They didn't let me into the exam hall. I got into a lot of hassle to get them to reschedule the exam, especially since I had no legit reason as to why I was late. It was awful, is all I can say. I went home and my husband and I stopped speaking to each other. He kept acting as if I hurt his feelings and traumatized him by yelling. What a fucking puss. And that I deserved what he did, since he was frustrated with my consensual refusal to attend all events for the past 2 weeks. Motherfucker, it's only been 2 fucking weeks? I might be wrong for not considering it, but I think my exam should be priority, and his way of teaching me a lesson was not right. Well, absolutely fucking not, it wasn't right. That guy had no fucking reason to fuck with your alarm. Holy shit. That guy gets a 4-finger fisting. Like, straight up. That is so messed up. Like, your wife is doing university and still going out and doing shit with you. Like, I don't know how intense her workload is and her actual income load is. But, and then for the last 2 weeks, you can't fucking handle that. And all it is going out and drinking and spending time with your friends. And if people cannot respect the time for a person to take out of their other lives to be able to further their own, they should go fuck themselves. That is so much messed up that people are that self-centered and selfish like that. Like, there are dudes that will cheat on his girl because she's out of town for the weekend or a week or 2 weeks. It's like, ooh, you didn't fucking get it. So fucking what? Like, there's I myself, sexless marriage for fucking years. I know what it's like. It sucks. You just fucking deal. But you don't go out and fucking cheat just because there's an opportunity, motherfucker. And this was just so wrong to screw with her alarm. Fucking punch him. At least. And then he thinks he's right. No. Fuck this guy. Such the asshole. That was r/AmItheASSHOLE. Hit the subscribe button and the bell to see more videos. Later, everyone.
Move, Josh.